the Belmont turns into Dracula.
Okay.
Yeah, the first game is all like traditional, and then the second one's like, and now we're in the present future, and I'm Dracula and stuff.
I've never played a Castlevania game. Thank you for tuning into Nerds and Noise. Today, we're going to first jump into Captain Marvel. My name is SC. This is Kevin, as you know. So, the Captain Marvel trailer dropped, and after watching it, I've received some intense... people were like, blah, but I'm like, okay, it was fine. They haven't sold me as a person who wants to objectively, no bias.
When you say bois, was good bois, bad bois?
It was because it's a surprise bois because they're looking at it as fans. And yes, I'm excited for Captain Marvel. I love Brie Larson. I'm super excited for the casting. But watching the trailer, the least interesting part about it is Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. It's just maybe it's what they've chose to put in the trailer, and I'm surprised because usually, like when Thor Ragnarok trailer dropped, the internet was like, "Wow, this is the best Thor ever!" And just then when Black Panther dropped, everybody was like, "Wow!" And when Infinity War trailer dropped, we lost our minds because they were cut so well. Even the first trailer for Age of Ultron, which I ultimately think is fine, like it's good, but I was slightly underwhelmed in the end because it's like, oh, this is more or less kind of the same as the first Avengers.
Well, one of the problems they may be running into, and hopefully it's not just the fact that they've made Carol cardboard to make her strong.
Yeah, I'm like, don't make her Hal
too
Jordan.
stoic.
Yes.
But part of the problem is we can tell from the what we can guess from the trailers is that the Kree, at least is the way they're telling it, have kidnapped Carol and kind of like restarted, brainwashed her.
Yeah, so you have the amnesia story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much of this is going to be an amnesia story? Please.
You probably got like 2 or 3 personalities, and the scenes that really display what she's doing are probably nice and spoilerific and in the last second or third of the movie.
Yeah, they've only given her like a couple of lines, and so you really can't, you go back and you watch other Marvel trailers like Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor or whatever, they usually get a pretty good idea of who the character is, whether the character is full of sarcasm, whether that character is super serious. You get with the swag, all these different things, you get a decent idea of characterization. But in this one, it's very much more. It's funny. I think some of the first complaints from all the dude bros online were like, "Why isn't she smiling? She should smile more." Yes, it was so bad. The Brie Larson went and took the serious posters.
I forgot about that.
It was bad. I was like, please don't know, dudes.
Hi, I'm a member of a militaristic alien nation. I'm smiling while I shoot you.
Yes, it was. And if you look at all the male posters, none of them were smiling. She went and edited smiles onto all the male posters. It's like it was bad.
Disturbing.
These are the comic fans. Like, I don't need her to necessarily be smiling. I don't know that much about Carol Danvers' personality, as a person. So I'm open to see what they bring to it. I think some of the lines just ended up feeling kind of or just like flat with the delivery. Even though I know with the trailer, they'll cut words together from different parts of the movie and like staple it on to the end of someone's mouth, like moving to act like that's what they said, kind of a thing.
Or they'll have them looking the other way, and it'll be like it's in that scene.
Yeah, so it's cut together to do a particular thing, and I think on this they were more trying to tell the story of Captain Marvel because so we got space, we have to introduce the idea of the Kree if they haven't seen Guardians and the Skrulls because the Skrulls have not existed in the MCU before, so they're trying to place all these things and give all these story beats and kind of explain who.
We've never gotten a movie with the Skrulls before.
Yeah, so there's a lot to kind of get the audience, I think, to buy, because they mention Kree in Guardians, but
and there's a Kree guy.
Yeah, but for the average fan, even people who are hardcore fans, they might not know. Like, Yondu is he? He said he was a Kree slave. Okay, so he's not. He was.
Yeah, no, he's just blue.
Okay, yeah. So you had Ronan, the accused.
But I believe the Kree do play a decent part in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
yes,
if you don't watch the TV show,
that's the thing. Like, you got to assume that each as a creator, each new movie they haven't seen the rest. So if we're assuming at this point we know most people have seen the Marvel films by their box office alone, but. This, like, Captain Marvel is a new deal. Like, you have to be able to sell this on its own without the help, because the other Avengers aren't there. and it takes place in the 90s, and it's a new hero. And
It'll be just like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman you could watch by itself and never watch another DC movie in your life, and it's just fine.
It's true, but even Wonder Woman was an easier sell because we all knew who she was.
Yeah.
We don't have any idea who Captain Marvel is and why we should care. And I want this to succeed and do well and do great. I don't know how she'll be handled in this movie. I know that in Avengers Part 4, I have full faith because I feel like the Russos are so good at using every character, sometimes, in my opinion, better than in their own movies. Like, I like Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange, but I know that set them up, but they were used so well, Doctor Strange and Wong in Infinity War. I was like, man, this is almost in some ways a cooler Doctor Strange movie than Doctor Strange.
Man, the Russos are really good at that.
I guess my biggest worry is for people who aren't fans. They're gonna be like, oh, it's another superhero movie. Why should I care again? And in some ways I was getting a little bit, Green Lantern vibes in some ways, only from, not saying it's going to be the same movie, but just because it deals with space and space military and training and all that kind of stuff. That could be a bad thing if people are like, oh, this is going to be like Green Lantern. We don't want them to associate.
At least the suit looks good.
Yes, yeah. I mean, everything about it, like, it looks flashy whenever I love the way they're kind of giving everybody a little bit of all the different Carol Danvers Captain Marvel personas. Like, there's the Captain Marvel, there's the green suit, there's the red suit, there's the
mohawk they gave her for a hot minute.
The mohawk. Oh, I was like, was it like, kind of binary-esque whenever
yeah
she's surrounded by,
when she's surrounded by fire, she looked like she did when she was hanging out with the Starjammers, like these Marvel space pirates.
Yes, so they're kind of giving everybody a little bit of everything. Once again, I'm more worried about the way that it's being sold right now with her as a character to make people excited, not that I'm worried about the movie, because Marvel, even Marvel's most meh, where it's on like C+, B- level, is still incredibly entertaining. And visually, it looks really cool. Like, watching the end of it where she's got the hawk and she's got the mask on and she's flying, just blowing up ships, and I was like, man, explain to me again why we can't have a good Dragon Ball Z movie. I'm like, it's all right there. You just give them $100 million, go out to the desert for like 2 months, and just scream. That's all you have to do. It's so easy. Even after watching the Matrix Revolutions, when Smith and Neo are fighting and charging, flying, and there's like shockwaves going off, I'm like, this is Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Why gonna have Dragon Ball Z?
We've had it for forever.
I know. There are no more excuses. One more thing about Captain Marvel. Excited about Lee Pace. Ronan the Accuser is actually my favorite Marvel villain, comic villain. Because in the comics and in the shows he's been in, Ronan is just so over the top and ridiculous. But he actually has more of a, once they got past all that, especially I think it was in the early 2000s. The
Fantastic Four cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoons he's been in, even the Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes cartoon, he's more interesting. And they did do stuff with him in the comics recently where they've explored more of his story. Like, he can be compelling. And I love Lee Pace. He's an actor from Oklahoma. So when I heard he was cast, I was like, sweet. And Guardians, they, I guess, wisely chose to focus mostly on the heroes. And so they made the whole world love them. And Ronan is more or less just a forgotten Marvel villain who died from a dance-off.
Yeah, he's just there to... Yeah, just for something for them to play off of.
Yeah, and I get it, and I didn't take offense to it because the movie did a lot of really, really great things. And Ronan was serviceable, which is the thing you can say about most MCU villains. They work.
They're there.
Yellow Jacket, he was a guy. Yeah. Corey Stoll was mean and bald.
I think probably the low point's Malekith, because you don't even remember Malekith.
Man, that he is hands down the worst. Worse than the Abomination, who wasn't necessarily like terrible per se.
No,
they
but
had a lot of Tim Roth.
Yeah, Tim Roth was like really good in the role, but you're like, oh, you're a really ugly looking Hulk knockoff.
Thankfully, he came out before poor Doomsday and Batman v Superman. It's like, you are an Abomination Ninja Turtle. We don't. And he didn't talk, so he was that much lamer. Yeah, CGI villains, it's tricky. You can get...
It's a shame they offed Obadiah Stane, Jeff Bridges' character. That actually was really nice. That would have been interesting to have him come back.
That's the deal. They the MCU really loves to kill off all of their...
Well, there is hope. It's not spoiler because I have no idea. But if they do a time travel thing with the new movie, World's their oyster, and they can just bring back whoever they want.
Yeah, I wonder, because this is going to be like the Russos are always talking about surprises, and you wonder. I mean, the whole Red Skull thing was, even though I expected way back when to see him again sometime, I'd moved on with my life. Like, I was like, nah,
I guess they're not going to do it. Okay, like, there he is.
So they did that, and this is going to be like the end of like a legacy kind of a thing, the Avengers 4. So, what stops are they going to pull out all of them for Avengers 4?
Who's going to stay permanently dead?
Yes.
If they stay permanently dead.
I know, because Johnny Depp said he wasn't going to come back as Jack Sparrow, but the bigger the bag of money, the more you can,
Just need to give them more Scooby snacks.
Because Chris Evans said, he put out like a tweet saying basically, "This has been great, I'm done." And then like last week, the Russos were like, well, he's not quite done. So it's once the House of Mouse and Disney like sews themselves into you.
It's like in some of the Zelda games when you're in certain dungeons, a giant hand comes out from the ceiling and then pulls you to the front of the dungeon. It's like the giant Mickey Mouse hand goes, ho ho, and then just puts you back on set.
Yes, that reminds. You thought you were free, huh?
Oh no. Yeah, it's hard to do the Mickey Infinity Gauntlet. He doesn't have as many knuckles.
Even it's like Tom Hiddleston seemed like he was talking about how he was basically done, and then they announced a Loki TV series with Tom Hiddleston. So I mean, I'm sure he also loves playing the character. So maybe with a series, how it's been shown, with you can do so much more characterization that a Loki series actually could do.
Then we keep overlooking Tom's between just movies that don't do as well. We keep overlooking Tom's roles because Crimson Peak and Lovers Left.
The only Lovers Left Alive, I believe it was, and then even when he played Hank Williams, that movie came and left, and I never heard anyone talk about it. Maybe because it was bad. I have no idea. I haven't seen it, but it's a lot of his roles definitely are, for as talented as he is, and how people were talking about. This kind of goes to show how sometimes there aren't actual movie stars, there are character stars, and then there are franchises.